Hello, beautiful human. Thanks for clicking on our conversation with Sam Smith. I'm pretty jazzed. Sam has a new album. It's called Love Goes. Link in the description below. But Sam is also possibly working on new music. They'll fill you in soon. They should be in the Zoom room at any moment. Oh, please leave your honest feedback in the comment section below. If you like the video, hit like. And even if you hate us, please hit subscribe. Here we go.
Let's do this. Zach Sang Show.
Hello.
Hi, Zach.
How are you, Sam?
Good. How are you? It's good to see you.
Oh, it is good to see you too, because we've never really seen each other. We've only really talked on the phone. That's it.
I
But
know. You look so wonderful.
oh my God, thank you so much. You are making my day. You as well. Daniel here too.
Hi,
Hey,
Daniel.
hey, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Daniel. How are you?
Great, can't complain. Well, I guess we could all have some complaints, but why do that?
Yeah, why complain?
Well, why complain when we have a great body of work that we can escape in? Love
Oh,
Goes, the third album.
do you like it? Do you
Oh,
honestly
yeah.
like it, or are you just saying it?
No. No. I really do genuinely enjoy it. I am obsessed with it. It is the right balance of both ballads and these poppier, yet they're still emotional, but you can dance and you can groove to them and you can play them in a club. But you gave us everything, and that's what I'm interested in. Is like you've obviously understood by album 3 what makes you you, right? In terms of what you give to culture and to music. Is that
Yeah.
wrong of me to assume?
Well, I think that takes longer. I think that it's I'm coming from a different place, as an artist. So I think that it's going to take me albums and albums and albums to get to that place. All I know is that I feel like I'm improving as a songwriter and improving as a singer and pushing myself to places where I'm not comfortable, and that's what I'm happy with. I don't want to be in comfy zone every time I release a record. I want to challenge myself. So that's what I try to do, and that turns me on more than anything. Is pushing myself and being scared.
Why is that so important? I always try to remind myself like comfort is like complacency, and then like once you get comfortable, then you refuse to grow and you refuse to challenge yourself and push yourself. I mean, why is that necessary for an artist? Because when I listen to the album, it sounds like it is ripped from your life, like 100% of it.
Yeah,
So how are you challenging yourself when it sounds like these records are just what you've experienced?
yeah. I mean, for me, the way I look at my music is it's like a singing diary of my life. And when you can hear in my music, I think my comfort levels in my own skin, where I'm at. And the first album was such an amazing record to make. I guess the only record I've made where there wasn't an audience waiting as such for it. And then as soon as you add success and fame into the mix with music, it became it was a different battle for me when it came to making music. I had to, my second album, I really struggled with, am I making these songs for me, or am I making songs to fit into this Sam Smith narrative of what I've created and what people have loved and what my label and all these people want me to do. And you fall into that, and it's been a process of the last few years of undoing that and really trying to flirt with music I love and try to block out everyone else and block out the fans in a weird way and just try and make out something that comes from my heart again. And that's going to be the constant battle, I think, for me, is because my music's honest and I want it to always be an honest record of my life.
Do you feel like Thrill of It All was less honest because there was a mold that you were trying to fill?
No, I think sort of it was insanely honest. I think it's not necessarily the music, it's the dressing of the music for me. It's the what I'm wearing when I'm singing it, the videos, how I'm feeling, I've when I was making my second record, I just wasn't comfortable being Femme at all. And the music for me was always very queer. My music has always been queer. There's songs about queer relationships and men that I've loved. And so um, for me, this album was my first time that I let my femme side of me come out in my music a little bit more.
Let's start with Young. Why is that the important song to start this album?
This song for me was just a declaration, I think, at the beginning of this whole process, um, to just say that I'm 26 and I'm confused and I'm really, I'm struggling with fame. I feel like I've lost a bit of my childhood because of how young I was when I became successful. And I just want to take this time to go out and kiss loads of guys and smoke weed.
It did at the end sound like you were justifying your actions. You were justifying the life you've been living. But would you trade it at the end of the day?
I wouldn't trade it at all. But I think that I wouldn't trade it because it is, no matter what happened, it was always going to be this way. But I do think that I'm given a hard time sometimes. I think people forget my age sometimes, and there's just certain things that I'm just not. I don't feel like I'm allowed to do anymore without looking like I'm a wreck. If I get really fat and go out drinking loads, people think I'm having a breakdown, but actually I'm just having lots of
Yeah,
fun.
you're just actually thriving and living one's best existence.
Yeah, basically. I think that's what the song was, just a way of saying back off. I'm gonna have some fun here.
The age thing is really interesting because people do have a public perception that you could be older because the music you put out into the world, your voice, the subjects of the songs, it is different. People forget that you are. I mean, yeah, 26. I mean, like, yeah, you
Yeah.
deserve to be doing whatever the you want to do. Honestly.
I'm 20. I'm 28 now, babe. I'm old, so I've got to
Oh,
out on the clubbing and eat some more fruit.
well, okay. So can I get a timeline on this? Because when did this album start for you? Because I mean, some of the songs that are on the album we've had for a minute.
Yeah, I mean, the album started after Promises with Calvin Harris, and it really started with Dance with a Stranger. Dance with a Stranger to me and How Do You Sleep are just as much a part of this record as anything. But because of COVID and because of just the way that things worked, it was a long time after those songs came out that I got to release this music. But all the music you're listening to was written around the same time as those songs.
So what is that like? I've lost all track of time. Is that a year and a half ago? Is that
So
two
it's
years
like
ago?
2000, end of 2018, I started, and I'd say,
So you
uh,
were around 26 when you started the process, right?
yeah,
That's 2
yeah,
years.
yeah, I
Okay.
was 26. And so I started when I was 26, finished just before I turned 28.
Wow. So do you listen to this album differently today than you did while you were like listening to the final mixes?
Oh yeah, it's been really difficult. It's honestly been hard because I'm releasing music at the moment it's all about a relationship I was in 2 years ago, and I have absolutely no connection anymore to that relationship. Really, it doesn't make me sad. It doesn't make me, I'm at peace with that. So it's very different to release it.
What brings peace? Is it the creation of the songs and just knowing that they exist? Because clearly it's not attached to when they physically hit the public's ears.
Hmm. What do you mean? What brings peace in my
Yeah,
life?
like, what brings peace and closure to a relationship? Because
Uh,
some of these songs are so like, let's just go through some of them because I'll come back to that question later on.
no, I love that question. I know the answer.
Well, please answer that.
Time. Time.
Okay.
Time brings peace. That's what I've learned. When you're heartbroken, it's really crap, and you've just got to sit through it because time is a healer.
Well, what is writing about it to you?
Right.
Painful to then write about it?
Oh, it's amazing feeling for me. I walk into the studio some days just feeling so sad and so down and missing the person so much. And it's this kind of, I guess it's like there's probably a little bit of narcissism within it, but it's like it's a way for me to reach out to them without reaching out to them. It's
Hmm.
like a way of like writing a letter to someone without actually getting in contact with
Uh,
them.
for the love that I lost is like you clearly wanted a mother effer to listen to that song.
Yeah, it's so dramatic. The whole concept is that you're laying I'm such a drama queen. I was so sad, and I was like, it's this concept of like laying roses down to, for someone, saying goodbye to someone. It's so dramatic.
It's a beautiful song, though.
I'm a drama queen. When I feel these emotions, I really go for it.
Another one is another. Read that Robin kind of subliminally influenced this song in some way, like her
Yeah, a
production.
little bit. And there's also a bit of Bruce Hornsby in the chords, actually. It's like, it's a euphoric trancey dance tune. That's how I see it.
I mean, the whole song, the story that I read about it was that it's about you going out and trying to essentially get over somebody by getting under another. Yes?
No, another one is that is kind of like, that's Dance with a Stranger and Dance Until You Love Someone Else. That's the sentiment of that song, is like, just go and get out of your head and try and find someone else. Another one, I wanted to really capture the journey that I went through in terms of the breakup. And there's ugly feelings that come when you break up with someone, jealousy, anger, resentment, all these things that are a factor of it. And I've never been one to shy away from the uncomfortable feelings. And so it's important to me to talk about the ugly things, because that's what makes us human.
Hey, beautiful human. I got to hit pause real quick to tell you about something that I'm obsessed with. For years, my friends and I have been playing Jackbox games. We are personally obsessed with Quiplash 3. I'll tell you what that is in a second. But if you want to get closer with the ones you love this holiday season, your friends, your family, you got to play Jackbox games. And they just released a brand new party pack, Party Pack 7. It is packed with 5 unique party games. They're guaranteed to please anybody in your actual room or in your video chat FaceTime room. You got to try games like Quiplash 3, where you and your friends battle head to head with hilarious answers to quirky prompts. Whoever has the funniest, wittiest answer wins. Or you can channel your inner artist by drawing a character and champed up and then taking on other players to see if your hero will become the champion. Oh, you can also try to survive a collaborative chaos with you and your friends. You guys got to navigate the devils and the details. Y'all must work together to complete tasks before the time runs out. No matter what game you play, Jackbox is on the platforms you care about. I mean, they're literally everywhere. Jackbox games are on STEM for Windows and Mac computers. They're on Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, iPads. You can also use any smartphone or web-enabled device as a controller. It makes playing with those you care about so freaking easy. It doesn't matter where you are. You can play with them. And I'm telling you, Jackbox Games really has helped bring me and my friends closer together just because of how convenient it is to share a laugh and connect with those closest to you. So play some games from Jackbox. I'm telling you, it is totally worth it, and it's a lot of fun. You can play with up to 8 people. 3 to 8 is kind of the range, but you can have an audience playing along of 10,000. If you want to learn more, if you want to play and have some fun with those you care about, jackboxgames.com. Go there to learn more. Do you believe that you can't fall out of love until you love someone else?
No, but I do think that you linger in your mind on past relationships until you feel something greater, because the next one will always feel just as good, if not better, than the last one. So I always think your brain will return to that place sometimes as a form of comfort, for sure.
Until there's closure?
I know, until you just got someone else in your bed who's loving you and reminding you what that feeling was like, because I forget what love feels like. It's been 2 years now since I've felt those feelings, so I forget.
Are you looking for a relationship? Or are you happy being single?
I'm weirdly, at the moment, the first time ever in my life, I'm like really cool with being single. Like I'm not looking to be in a relationship. I'm looking to meet people, and if a relationship happens, then wonderful. But I want to be with a friend, and I want to be with someone who just naturally, makes me laugh and naturally comes into my life. It's also really hard to date in my job. I'm not, and my age, and you know, it's difficult.
What is this your age? Like you're like a like you're this old racehorse that they should just take out to pasture, or somebody like you just like take it to the farm. to
My
roam
therapist,
around.
my therapist says to me, she says, dating you is like dating a 50-year-old lawyer with 3 children. Female lawyer, she said as well. A 50-year-old female lawyer with 3 kids, single.
Well, I think that's hey, I think that's one of the greatest compliments.
I think it's accurate as well.
You can
Does
handle a lot, juggle a ton, focused, determined, caring, and still loving, but also harsh when you need to be.
Yeah. I
I
just
don't
need
know.
to be with a guy who's not scared of a powerful woman. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I feel like there's a lot of people out there who need that.
Yeah, of course. Men, all men do, I think.
does getting older scare you? I can't tell if you're excited for the future or you're nervous about getting older.
I'm excited. It's just, I think the reason why age comes into my life so much is just because of how different my life is compared to other 28-year-olds around me. And so my friends and my sisters and my family that are around me, they're all at very, very different stages. And I have a lot more responsibility than the average 28-year-old. I have a lot more, you know, money, a lot more, just a lot more everything in terms of responsibility and baggage. So I think getting older is going to be a different experience for me.
Is it bad baggage? Because like if I were you, I would just be I would be nervous about the people I allow into my zone more
Mm.
than anything, due to people wanting to take advantage.
Yeah, yeah.
The baggage you have is not like it's not like you're lugging around dead bodies. You
Oh,
know?
that's wonderful. It's wonderful.
It's
There's
phenomenal luggage.
Yeah,
It's
it's amazing.
phenomenal pieces.
It is.
But don't you kind of feel like a security knowing that you're still young? 28 is very young, and you're still young, and you have this whole future ahead of you. Like a lot of people are your age and have no idea what the future holds for them. They have no idea who they are, what they want to be.
Yeah, yeah, completely, completely. I feel so lucky to have that kind of safety net for sure. I really do.
You
But,
offer that
but
security?
sometimes I wish I was in it with everyone else and just like grinding.
Do you? Like I think there's moments of that. I think that yeah, you wonder,
Yeah.
then reality sets in. You're like, nah.
No, I'm actually good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the album starts with young and then ends with kids again. Is there any connection between that? Is there a reason you started the album with young and then ended it with kids again?
Yeah, because I started the album like, let's be young, let's go for it. I think that was the mindset I was in before I got into my relationship. It was like, let's just have fun and experience this stuff. And then I think kids again for me was looking back on the relationship and at that time, and it was me being a kid. You know, I was being a bit irresponsible sometimes, and I was going out too much, and you know, just looking back at it and looking back on it with nostalgia, and I have a lot of love for Pat.
Do you write records starting with lyrics and stories that you just need to tell, or is it somebody giving you an instrumental or a piece of production that then gets you going and you craft a melody? How does it work for you?
So normally we sit in the room. I'm in a room with a writer or some players, really, mostly, and then we play chords and we go for it. And I just sing melodies. Sometimes I come into the studio and I have melodies that I've recorded on my phone. I'm doing that more and more now. Actually, I'm just writing songs by myself in my garden and then going in the studio and you know, working out the music to them. But it always starts with absolutely nothing, and then we create it together and build it slowly.
Why is your garden the place? It's peaceful.
It's a good garden. It's a lovely garden. It's very green, lots of flowers. No one can see me, so I can be naked and dance around.
Wow, what a blessing. One of the things that really fascinated me about you from one of our previous conversations was that you have a strong sense of empathy. So you, on albums past, would write songs about other people's lives. Is there a single song about somebody else on this album, Love Goes?
Yeah, I mean, do you know what? Yes, I mean, everything that I write is kind of I try and make it so that it could be about other people. And I tap into, I think when I say I'm a drama queen in some of these songs, I think it's because when I'm writing some of these songs, I'm thinking about loads of people in my life who've gone through the same thing, and people that have given me advice and told me how they feel. You know, when I'm going through anything in my life, I really talk about it to my friends, and I talk about it to my team, and I'm a very open person. So I just talk and talk and talk, and we share feelings. And so other people's stories always kind of sneak in to lyrics and moments.
But would you say it starts with you?
I'd say on this record, yes. But on the last record and the one before, there was one or two songs that I was like, this is going to be a song about this person.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's so fascinating. There's a record on here that you kind of tell everybody that you just want somebody to confide in. Is it Forgive Myself?
Oh yeah, that's so depressing. Oh my God.
What?
That's people. I'm hearing that that's people's favorites, and I'm like, that is the most saddest song of. I couldn't even listen to that towards the end because it was just so sad. But I do love it.
Really?
Yeah,
Is
it's
it,
so sad. I mean,
what does it say to you when you can't listen to your own song at a certain point?
I don't know. Maybe it's a good thing. It's just so deep. It's so deep. When I listen to it, I kind of go back to that place a little bit. It was just heavy, 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 heavy.
Is it going to be weird to bring this album to life? I mean, maybe not through. Are you going to perform it at all?
I'm gonna stop now, and I'm gonna go and write my next record. But I'm gonna perform some of these songs when I come back on the road for sure.
Whoa. So why is now the time to write a new album?
I mean, I wrote this album before COVID, and this year has really changed my life in a huge way. I've been traveling around the world since I was 22 performing, and I have had no time to build my roots and to be there for my sisters, be there for my mum and dad, you know, maintain relationships with my friends from school and all these things. So being at home and being in the UK and in London and doing that the last few months has really made me want to write a soul record. Really, I want to write a really different record, and I just want to do that. You know, this album was a beautiful moment, and it was a beautiful little time for me.
What do you learn about yourself during the last few months? Because I'm assuming that like albums for you come from some sort of self-discovery, some sort of life change, and
Mm,
clearly being at home and being with your family and reconnecting with your roots, being able to actually like sow your own.
mm.
How has it changed the way you make music?
Oh, hugely, hugely. I mean, it's making me slow down. So I'm just slowing down and realizing, you know, my anxiety the last 6 months has almost diminished. It's been crazy. I think I didn't realize that so much of my anxiety and was down to the speed of my life and the constant jet lag and traveling. And so being slow is making the music a little bit softer and slower. And I want to I'm intrigued with the idea of taking my time on something. And you know, pop music, the way we write pop music and the way I wrote this record, you know, it's like you go into these studios in LA, it's all these writers, it's bouncing off, it's amazing, it's fast. And I want to kind of just sit in a space with a guitar and just sing and sing and sing and sing with no structure for a bit. That's what I'd love to do.
So who do you enlist? Is it going to be you and just a guitarist, you and a writer that you've worked with? I know like Jimmy Napes has been on a few records over the years. Like who do you tap into for this?
Jimmy will always be, you know, I'll always write with him. But I'm flirting with some different people right now. There's people that I just love to write with, from that I've written with in the past. You know, my relationship with Labyrinth recently has just been absolutely sensational, and me and him just write really incredibly together. So I want to get in with him more. But I've just got a house in the countryside, so there's a barn and everything. So I'm gonna go and sit in a barn and just write songs.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Did you feel like you needed to get more of a poppier album out of the way before you can move on to a more soulful album next?
Yeah. For me, I was like, I would be so angry with myself if I never popped in a music video. Can I say that on it?
Yeah, you're cool.
I would have like hated myself if I never like took that jump and just and danced in a music video, made some pop music that was a little bit, you know, not throwaway, but just fun and kind of breezed over you. And it was and I thought, you know, I've got to do that now.
This kind of screams to newfound confidence. If you have the ability to be like, yo, I just did a pop album because I needed and wanted to do a pop album, and now I'm going to do a soul album, and it's going to be soulful as I mean, most artists wouldn't take leaps like that, right? Traditionally, I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I think that for me, it came to a point with my second album where I was like, I just want to live my life for me. You know, I want to stop looking left and right. I just want to have a good time, and I'm going to be having a good time if I'm loving what I'm doing. I can do the same thing again and again, and make way more money, and you know, do this thing and concentrate on the stats and all these things, or I can just take a leap and just have fun and create, be an artist, and fail. I know it sounds crazy, but like the idea of failing to me is actually something that I think we all need to do more. We all
And
need to like be brave and put something out there that people might go, what the hell is that?
when's the last time you failed?
Oh my God, I fail all the time. But my ideas of failure are probably not.
Yeah, it's like tiny. Like it's not on a grand scale, but big failure leads to learning, right? And that leads to challenges.
Yeah, but I mean, also people wouldn't. I mean, it's hard. It's hard for people to understand because I think people look at my life and they're like, everything's fine, but and everything is fine, but in terms of, you know, labels and the music industry, you know, like taking risk is really not. People don't like that because when you've got a product that works,
Yeah.
people just want to keep going with that because it works and it benefits everyone, you know. So changing things up is normally takes a lot more courage, I think, sometimes.
Dude,
Would
courage, confidence in oneself, confidence in your own voice and the art you put out there and in your business, because it takes both a business person and an artist to do this.
Yeah.
would you say Diamonds was a risk for you?
No, no. I mean, it's no. Diamonds wasn't a risk. I think Diamonds is a great song, and I think I just think it's a smooth, beautiful song. I think me dancing around in the video maybe, but no, I wouldn't say it's a risk. I'm Ready with Demi, I said was more of a risk. I said To Die For, the song, would be a bit more of a risk. I said How'd You Sleep would have been a bit more of a risk for me. Yeah.
Why the record with Demi? Why was I'm Ready a risk?
I mean, it's an intense song. It's like, it's a really intense song. People really hate that song, but then people really love it. I never really knew what that song was, but all I knew was that it made me want to get in a dress and heels and like run around a gym.
It made me feel confident.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it gave
love
you
it.
a power. And the way the vocals grew, it was nice. I don't know.
Yeah, it made me feel good.
Um, by the way, Love Goes is the record with Labyrinth, and everybody should listen to the whole album, top to bottom. Love Goes. We're going to put a link in the description below. But how does this song in particular start with Labyrinth? How does he work? Obviously, you know each other, but does he send you something that he thinks you're perfect for? Do you go, I have a hole in this album that I need to fill?
No, we said that we wanted to write together. We went in the studio and we wrote that day. I think we wrote about two songs, and then they were good songs and I loved them. And then they were like little rough ideas. And then I went for a cigarette. He went and got a sandwich, and then we came back into the studio together, and he just started playing these chords. And then I remember I just started singing that lick, the goes, that part, and we just started riffing that, and then this song came. It just happened, and then we made the basic part of the song, and then I said like, yeah, why don't we put like classical music at the front? And then he started playing this unbelievable classical piece at the front, and it all just came together really naturally.
And obviously, there's another record that's chilling somewhere, but maybe a potential collaborator for the future.
What lab?
Yeah,
We've written quite a bit now.
that's
There's
great.
yeah, so there's some stuff that might come out.
We talk about risks and you talk about data and statistics. At this stage, 3 albums in, so many hits under your belt. What is success and how do you measure it?
Success for me is a joyful and a full life. Like to live life and to live it hard, to 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 be surrounded by good people. If I'm successful, other people should feel successful too around me, and we should all be in this together. Um, but success to me would be, in terms of music, would be to push the bar each time, to challenge myself, to become a better singer, to actually, it all comes back to my trade, really. I don't, it's not about stats or awards or anything anymore. It's about me being the best songwriter and the best singer I can be, and documenting my life in the most beautiful way.
And Love Goes obviously prove that to you, yeah? Did it meet the expectations you set for it?
Yeah, I mean, to be quite honest, anything I make, I think any creator in this world, you know, it's very easy to critique a creator, but to create something, whether it's a painting, whether it's a dance, whether it, you know, anything, to create something and show other people,
Oh, great word.
it's a brave, wonderful thing. And no matter what anyone puts out, um, they should be proud of whatever they do, because there was a time when that didn't exist, you know. So anything I put out, I'm always gonna be proud of.
Love Goes. That is the album. Another album on the way, but no rush, right? Or
No,
like, should we be setting like a countdown clock for mid 2021?
no, I've got to. I think people are sick of me now, so I've got to take a minute.
I think that's bull squash. Love Goes is the album. There's a link in the description below. Dan Zolot, final thought.
Well, you did mention, being naked in your backyard. You mentioned dancing in music videos. How do you learn to become so comfortable in your own skin?
Um, um,
Yeah, teach
by
me.
by being uncomfortable. So it was the beginning of 2018. I was on holiday, and for 26 years of my life, I hated taking my top off on holiday and being around a swimming pool with my top off, because I was so conscious of my body. And something switched in me. I felt tired and fed up of not being able to do it. So I took my top off and I walked outside, and I felt so uncomfortable. I felt awful. I've never felt worse in my life, but I forced myself to do it, and I did it every single day for months and months and months. I would make it a thing to wake up, take my top off and walk into the kitchen and make a coffee and let people see me with my top off doing that. I started to enjoy my body and just force myself into uncomfortable situations. And then suddenly, after 3-4 months, I just stopped looking at my body as much, and I stopped caring about what I looked like and started caring more about how I felt. And that kind of leaked into absolutely everything, whether it was music, you know, relationships with people, all these things.
Caring how you felt, is that mentally or is that physically?
Physically, I mean, your mind is in your body, right? So it's all part of the same thing. You have to look after your body and your mind. If you look after your body and you forgive your body and you're kind to yourself, you know, treat yourself with bad food, but also be good to yourself with good food, you know. And it's the same, that what you're doing to your body physically, it works on your mind and your mental health too. It's all part of the same system.
Has being in the public eye and fame made self-acceptance harder or easier, knowing that people are just watching you and everything you do?
um I think it's made it harder. I see fame. It sounds so deep when I say this, and everyone's probably just like, "Shut up!" You're so. like so depressing. But fame to me is, from the therapy I've had, it's a trauma. It's a form of trauma that your body goes through. So my body went through a trauma when I was 21, and so it did. I think it's made my physical body and my mental health. It's been harder for sure, but I also have access to therapy and all these things which help.
It's understanding it, it's healing it, but the body thing is something you got to do on your own time and in your own way. Yeah, you could talk about it with somebody else, but you really gotta. That's something you got to walk in addition to just talking about it.
I just don't think there's an easy way. I think the only way to fight these things is to fight them, and fighting things is really uncomfortable. So you have to feel uncomfortable before you feel comfortable, and that's a really hard thing to do.
And that is how we come full circle today, because we started there. Sam Smith, I thank you so much for your time and energy today. I really appreciate you.
Thank you. It's lovely to see you and chat to you.
An honor. I appreciate your energy and your time and your music. Love Goes.
Thank
That
you.
is the album.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
See you later, guys. Thank you. Have a lovely day.
Hey, beautiful human, thanks for watching our full interview, but I get it. Like, a full interview is a lot. So we got a clips channel. We don't expect you to watch the full thing anymore, so we just gave you the highlights. Please subscribe and notifications and all that stuff. Okay, cool. I love you.